Hi all, welcome to our micro PD on the basics of using Google Jabber. As you know, we've all been tasked with how to increase collaboration with our teachers on our collaboration stations using digital tools. And so this is going to be a basic overview of the Google Jabber system. So with this training, I'm going to aim to do three things today. One is have you practice using three tools correctly on a simulated Google Jamboard. You're going to brainstorm three ideas to use Google Jamboard in a virtual meeting. And then you will create and share one Google Jamboard without assistance that you will then use in an upcoming collaboration station with your teachers, and then turn that in just so that way you can show that you understand how to use Google Jamboard for our NESE's credit. So let's go ahead and get started. As I go along today, I do need you to be in the Jamboard with me, so that way it's a guided practice with you. So what I need you to do right now is to go ahead and log into your Google Drive, and I will demonstrate how to do that. Let me share my screen. So you'll go to drive.google.com as we normally do for all of our Google Docs. And this is where you will access your Google Jamboard, and you will store your Google Jamboard and create Jamboard. Jamboard is a Google app that allows real-time collaboration using a digital whiteboard. It's a really cool tool that I'm going to show you. And it's super simple for us to create a new Jamboard. How you do that is you go to the new plus. It's usually up here on the left-hand upper corner. And you click it. It's going to pull down a whole bunch of options. Because it's not the standard ones that most people use more often, like docs, sheets, slides, and forms, you're going to have to go to more menu, and it'll pull up all of the other apps that we have available for us at DPI. And Jamboard on mine is down at the bottom. It could be on a different location on this, but you'll just go to Google Jamboard. And it will pull up a blank Jamboard for you. It's that simple on how to create it. You will click up here on the title. You will be able to rename it whatever you'd like. I'm gonna name this as Rob's Board. Oh, not let me type. Rob's Board. And then it's going to automatically save that in my Google Drive where I can access it later. To share it, you'll go over here to the share, just like we do with all of our other Google Docs. You'll go to share. You can share it with specific people if you'd like, or you can have it open to the public. You can copy the link. Remember, you can change who can have access to your Jamboard. It could be only people within DPI by clicking here. You can restrict it to only specific people that you share it with up above, or anybody with the link, because you're going to be using it with your teachers. You're going to want to share it with anybody so that anybody who has the link can share it. Make sure that when you choose anybody with a link, you go over to this drop-down menu of what those specific people can do. We want to make sure that they can be an editor because that means they can then collaborate on that board as opposed to just viewing it and not be able to do anything. And since the point behind this is for us to just be able to them view it or to them participate, you want to make sure that they have the editing access. Make sure that you copy the link and send it to wherever you need during the meeting. So to demonstrate all of these different tools for you today that you can use with your teachers, I'm going to have you collaborate with me on a Jamboard that I created for us. So in the chat, I am dropping you a link to the Jamboard that I created, named the presentation Jamboard, and I shared it and made sure that you had access to it just like I showed you. So as I'm going along today, you are welcome to play along with me so that way you understand how to use these different tools. You'll notice that there are 16 different squares. Each one of us has our own square that we can play with on this Jamboard, and I just need you to choose one empty square as we're going around to be able to use for your practice that we're going to do today. So Jamboard is an interactive whiteboard, just as you would have in a classroom as a chalkboard or a whiteboard. This is just a digital one, and I'm going to show you a couple tools for you today. The basic tools are over here on the left-hand side of the screen. And I'm going to start from the bottom and kind of work my way up. So you have the first tool in the bottom is a laser pointer. That's just to be able to, as you're presenting like I am right now, you'll be able to circle things, point to things, highlight things, draw arrow to something. It's just a pointer and it disappears after it's gone. So it's a cool tool for when you're talking, you can highlight something. Oh, look at what Rob did right here. And you'll be able to then just highlight what that person did. The next tool up is a text box. This is just going to create a text box. So you'll click it, you notice that it highlights that button, and you'll notice that when you go over onto the screen, that my cursor will then show up as a bar that will show text. So you can choose wherever you want. I'm going to choose this box right here. And you see that it created a text box, and I'm just going to type my name. So what I want you to do is to go to the text box tool, click it, find a blank cell, and write your name, just like I did. As you do that, these are just some tools that I will show you as soon as they're done. Looks like everybody is almost done writing their text. And so once you click off your text box, it will go away. And let's say you need to move it or change the size, or move it to a different location. You'll notice that no matter where I click on here, I have the selection arrow. So, but if you need to make the selection tool, you can always click it over here and it'll automatically change your cursor to that. And you'll just click the text box. You'll notice that it re-highlighted the text box. You can double click it and then you can change their name. I may want to put my formal name in there. And then you will also move around the outside of the box. You can notice that you can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You can change the dimensions of it so that way it goes vertical. You can also rotate it in any manner that you want. So go ahead and play around with your text box and where you want to put it in your actual little square that you have, to make sure that you are able to change things and play around with the text box tool. Looks like everybody has had enough time to really just play around with this tool. And so we're going to move on to the next one of my favorite tools that we play with on Jamboard, and that's going to be sticky note. I'm not going to really touch on it today, but you have the option of drawing different shapes. That's more of an advanced function that you can play around with, but I'm just going to show you the ones that are going to be the most bang for your buck. So if you go up to this one that looks like a little sticky note, and if you hover over it, it'll tell you that it's a sticky note. These are just like you would put on a sticky note that you'd have on your desk. They will show up on the screen, but once you click it, it'll pull up this new box, and you notice that you can change to green, blue, pink, orange, or you don't even need a color if you don't want. I like green, so I'm going to go with green. And then you're going to click the actual color and you can write your message. I am going to write how I'm feeling today. I am feeling happy. And that's my message. As soon as I'm done and happy with the text that I want to put in there, I click save and it will put it on the Jamboard. Just as in a sticky note dispenser, when you pull one off, the next one pops up. That's the exact same thing that happens on Jamboard. It'll automatically pull back up your sticky note because you may want to add another one. If you do, go ahead and write another one. If not, go ahead and hit cancel and it'll take you to the Jamboard right here. Notice that it'll post your sticky note wherever you want. So make sure you click your select tool if it's not already highlighted, and I'm going to maneuver it to my box. I can, just like a text box, make it bigger. I can make it smaller. I can twist it upside down or however I'd like to. So it is a cool tool that I can put anywhere. It's just a colored box. They call them a sticky note, but it's another element that you can use on Jamboard. So I'm going to ask you to create your own sticky note saying how you are feeling right now and paste it in your box. Feel free to make it bigger, make it smaller, however you'd like it. Use whatever color you'd want, but go ahead and practice with this sticky note. All right, it looks like everybody is getting the hang of the sticky notes. So what I need for you to do right now is to learn about the pin. So the pin is this top icon up here, and you can click it and it's a pin, but you'll notice that there's this little arrow off to the right. And so I want you to click that arrow. and it's going to pick up different styles. You have a pen style, you have a marker style, you have a highlighter style, and you have a paintbrush style. You also have different colors that you can use. I'm going to choose the marker because that's what I want, and I want to choose blue. That's just what I feel like doing right now. And I'm going to go over to my box, and I'm going to, not well, but do it, draw a smiley face because I was feeling happy. So I want you to play around with the tool, the pen tool. So go ahead and click your color, click your style, and draw a smiley face or a frowny face or a happy face or whatever type of face you'd like to draw in your box. All right, it looks like everybody has their tools or their pen taken care of. And so I just showed you 3 tools in which you can use on Jamboard. You have the text box that you can write text. You have a sticky note, which just gives kind of an emphasis and a move them around, and just a cool tool of that. And you have the pen in which you can just draw random things. The one tool that I like to use, but I don't really tell teachers about because they like to erase things, is the eraser. You have this over here. The eraser does erase only pen markers or anything. It doesn't erase sticky notes, and it does not erase text box. You have to, if you'd like to erase those, you have to click on them and delete them using your keyboard using the delete or backspace button. But the eraser erases just the pen mark, so if you need to. So those are the 3 tools for us to use. And so right now, I want us to brainstorm ways that you think you can use these tools in your upcoming collaboration station. I created another board. You can create more boards within one single board by just going up to the top of your Jamboard page and going to the next frame. It'll automatically create a new board. If you created a new board already, it'll take you to the next board that you already have. I've already created a brainstorming board. And so what I want us to do right now, and I'm going to give us a couple minutes, is for us to use the text box tool and write down 2 ways and put them on the screen, but 2 ways that you think you can use this tool, Jamboard, in your upcoming collaboration station. I'll give you about a minute to put those on. All right, our minute is up. And it looks like we have some really good ideas. It looks like a lot of people put their ideas on here. But now I want us to kind of expand on them. So these are all great ways, but maybe you have an idea of how to expand on somebody else's idea. So what I want you to do is read some of the ideas. And if you have a spark of inspiration on how to expand, I'm going to ask you to take a sticky note, go to the sticky note function, and write a way to expand that idea and post it next to that original comment. So for example, you'll see that I put up here, my idea was that teachers describing how they feel, just like I had you put a smiling face or I put a sticky note, but somebody put the idea of teachers commenting kind words of encouragement on each other's posts based on how they feel. Because maybe a teacher put up there that I'm feeling sad, and they know that teacher, and they can be like, hey, you're doing great. I know you're working with your students or whatever. That would be a great way to expand just besides teachers saying how they feel. So go ahead and read a couple of these ideas or all of them, and then use the sticky note tool to extend on an idea. All right, it looks like we have some great sticky notes and you're all getting the hang of this, and you have some brilliant ideas on how you can actually use Jamboard in your upcoming collaboration station. I'm going to maneuver back to my original PowerPoint, so that way I can tell you kind of about the next piece that is required of us to gain credit for NECs, so that way we can get some digital learning credit for this, and you can show GPI leadership that you are actually using digital tools in a collaboration station for our goals. So you're going to create a Jamboard. You're going to update the sharing as desired and as you need. And then you're going to use that Jamboard in an upcoming meeting. You have access to the Jamboard ideas that we just did. I'm also here, and your colleagues also have great ideas. If you don't know how to use it and you're at a loss, feel free to reach out to us, but you have some great ideas on how to, some preliminary ideas on how to use it on that Jamboard. And you're just going to use it with your teachers your next meeting. Then you'll take that completed Jamboard and you're going to share that with DPI leadership through the NICE system. So that way they can give feedback on your performance, attach it to your goal, and you can get credit for your digital learning and your NBIP goal sheet. So that's all I have. Is there any questions or comments? Things you need me to review? You all did fantastic today. And I appreciate you letting me take a little bit of your time today to show you how to use a cool collaboration tool. There's no questions or comments? All right. Well, have a great day.